Every morning at 6, I push this old mower along the Barracks road, just like I've done for years. The air is still cool, and the world feels quiet before the soldiers start their day. I like these moments. The calm before the noise, the chance to focus on something simple but important. Mowing the grass isn't glamorous, but it gives me purpose. It's work I do without expecting anyone to notice or thank me. Most people just walk past without a second glance. Some younger soldiers even laugh or whisper, thinking I'm just an old man clinging to the past. I don't mind. I'm not out here for applause. I'm here because this place means something to me. I've walked these grounds before, in a different uniform, carrying heavier burdens. Now, I carry the same sense of duty in a different way. I don't need anyone to tell me I'm doing a good job. What matters is that the job gets done right. This routine keeps me connected to the place, to the people who serve here, and to my own sense of discipline. It's not about rank or medals anymore. It's about respect for the mission and respect for myself. So I keep mowing, quietly, day after day, knowing that sometimes the greatest leadership is shown in the smallest actions. They see me pushing this mower and they think it's a joke. The young soldiers laugh and whisper behind my back, making fun of the old man still stuck in his ways. Sometimes they call me names, like I'm some forgotten relic wasting time. One even joked loudly during morning PT, saying, "If you don't hurry up, the old guy will mow you into shape." Their voices are full of mockery, but I say nothing. I keep my head down and keep mowing. They don't understand. They see only the worn boots and faded shirt, not the years behind these hands or the stories behind this quiet face. Their youth blinds them to the true meaning of service. They have never carried the weight of command or lived through the battles I have. Their respect is based on rank, medals, and loud voices, not on quiet dedication or unseen sacrifice. I don't respond with anger because I know they are still learning. I was once young too, eager and loud, full of energy and certainty. I understand that respect must be earned, not demanded. True leadership is not about proving yourself with words or status, but by showing up every day, doing the work no one else wants to do. There is a gap between what they see and what is real. I may look like an old man with a mower, but I carry a lifetime of experience beneath this calm exterior. Sometimes, the deepest lessons come in silence, in small actions, and in the humility to keep going when no one is watching. That is where real respect is built, even if they don't see it yet. The rumble of the vehicle caught my attention before I saw it. A colonel's Humvee pulled up slowly near where I was trimming the edges of the grass. I straightened up, instinctively snapping to attention out of respect. His presence was commanding, sharp eyes that missed nothing, carrying the weight of authority and experience. The soldiers nearby, who had been sneering and whispering just moments before, suddenly went quiet. The laughter that had once filled the air faded away like it had never been. All eyes turned toward us as the colonel stepped out of the vehicle with a confident, measured stride. He stopped right beside me, looking down at the mower and then at me. For a moment, I didn't say a word. Then he asked, his voice low but firm, "Why didn't you speak up?" That question struck deeper than he probably intended. I paused, considering my answer carefully. Speaking up meant revealing myself, reminding them of who I was, and risking the very respect I hoped to earn silently through my work. But more than that, I had wanted to see if they truly understood what leadership meant, if respect came from titles and medals, or from actions taken day after day without fanfare. His question made the soldiers around us shift uncomfortably, forcing them to face what they had been ignoring. It was a moment that changed everything, quiet, powerful, and full of meaning beyond words. The years I spent in uniform shaped everything I am today. I've seen more battlefields than I can count, Vietnam jungles thick with danger, the tense chaos of Grenada, and countless other operations where decisions meant life or death. I wasn't just a soldier, I was a leader, commanding battalions, planning missions, carrying the weight of men's lives on my shoulders. Those were the days when the stars on my shoulders mattered, when orders carried the full force of authority. One memory always stays with me, leading my troops through a dense jungle, under constant threat from enemy fire. The weight of responsibility was crushing. Every step had to be calculated, every command deliberate. It was in those moments I learned that leadership isn't about being the loudest voice or the highest rank. It's about presence, being there when it matters most, leading by example, not just orders. Another moment came during Operation Urgent Fury in Grenada. The chaos was overwhelming, but amidst the turmoil, I saw the courage of the youngest soldiers, their fear mixed with determination. I realized leadership meant inspiring others even when hope was fragile. It meant listening as much as commanding, understanding that respect isn't demanded but earned through action. Those experiences taught me humility. I learned to measure my worth not by medals or rank, but by how I served my men and my country. When I returned to Fort Ashton, I could have stepped into a prestigious role or demanded recognition. But instead, I chose silence. I wanted to see if the next generation understood what true leadership meant, not the titles or the uniform, but the commitment to duty, the discipline to show up every day and do the work, no matter how small or unseen. That's why I never spoke up about who I was while mowing this grass. I was testing them, quietly challenging their ideas of respect and honor, and more importantly, reminding myself that leadership is a lifelong responsibility, not just during battles, but in every moment, even those that seem ordinary or invisible. Mowing this grass is more than a task. It's a continuation of my service, a silent lesson in perseverance, respect, and dedication. It's the same leadership, just without the stars. And maybe, someday, they will understand that true leadership never really leaves its post. When the colonel asked, "Why didn't you speak up?" his words cut deeper than a simple question. It wasn't just about explaining why I stayed quiet. It was a challenge to my whole way of leading. Speaking up would have meant revealing who I really was, reminding everyone of my rank and past. That could have earned me respect right away, but it wouldn't have proven anything. I stayed silent because I wanted to see what kind of respect this place truly valued. Was it the kind that comes from titles and authority? Or was it the respect earned through actions, consistency, and humility? Military culture is built on ranks and rules, but real leadership goes beyond that. It's about how you carry yourself when no one is watching, how you handle being ignored or mocked without losing your purpose. Inside, there was a battle between pride and humility. Pride in the service I gave, the men I led, and the sacrifices made. But humility told me to step back, to show them that leadership doesn't need to be loud or demanding. I knew speaking up could change how they saw me overnight, but would that change the way they behaved? Would it teach them anything about true responsibility? I chose a different way. Silent leadership. Leading by example, day after day, without expectation or demand. It's a lesson I hoped would sink in slowly. That real leaders don't just give orders, they live their values quietly, earn trust through steady commitment, and inspire others by doing what needs to be done, no matter who's watching. When the colonel looked me in the eye and asked, "Why didn't you speak up?" I felt the weight of those words. His tone was firm, but there was respect behind it, a recognition that this wasn't just about rules, but something deeper. I took a breath and answered honestly. I told him I didn't speak up because I wanted them to see the work, not the rank. I wanted to show that leadership isn't about wearing a uniform or flashing medals. It's about doing what needs to be done every day, whether anyone notices or not. I said I wanted to test if respect came from actions or just titles. The colonel nodded slowly, clearly thinking. Then he shared his own perspective. He talked about how easy it is to get caught up in ranks and protocols, but real respect grows from trust and example. He said leadership is about earning that trust over time, not demanding it. I saw the weight of experience in his eyes. He understood what I meant. There was a moment between us, no words spoken, just understanding. It was like a silent agreement that leadership goes beyond appearances. He wasn't just a superior officer, he was a man who recognized the value in quiet service. That conversation stayed with me. It stirred something inside, a mix of relief and validation. I realized I wasn't alone in believing that true leadership means showing up, serving quietly, and leading by example. It was a moment of connection that reminded me why I kept going, despite the doubts and the silence. Leadership isn't about the stars on your shoulders or the medals pinned to your chest. It's about the choices you make when no one is watching. It's about showing up every day, ready to do what needs to be done, even if that means pushing a worn-out mower across a patch of grass. True service is quiet. It doesn't demand attention or praise. It asks only for dedication and integrity. I think about the younger soldiers watching, some with respect, some with doubt. I hope they see beyond the uniform, beyond the rank, and understand that leadership is a responsibility carried in every action. It's in the small details, the daily routines, the willingness to serve without fanfare. It takes a kind of strength most people don't notice, a steady commitment to doing what's right even when it's hard or thankless. This kind of leadership applies far beyond the military. In life, in work, in family, it's the same principle. Leading isn't about being in charge. It's about caring enough to take responsibility even when recognition isn't guaranteed. It's about perseverance, humility, and respect earned through deeds, not words. There's power in quiet service. It builds character and trust. It inspires others without saying a word. And though the work may be unseen or unrewarded, it shapes the future in ways that matter most. That's the lesson I hope to pass on. Lead with heart, serve with humility, and never stop showing up, because true leadership never fades. It lives on in those who follow. At first, many of the young soldiers avoided eye contact or walked past without a word. Some still whispered jokes, unsure what to make of the quiet man with the mower. But slowly, things began to shift. A few stopped to nod politely, acknowledging the work being done without fanfare. Some started to mimic small acts of care, picking up trash, straightening signs, trimming stray edges, without being asked. The colonel's visit changed the atmosphere more than words could. When he spoke about the importance of humility and service, it made many pause and reconsider. Soldiers who once saw me as just an old man suddenly looked with new respect. They began to understand that leadership isn't always loud or flashy. Sometimes, it's the quiet consistency that makes the biggest difference. I noticed the younger soldiers standing a little straighter, saluting with more intention, and talking with more respect about the base and its history. The grounds themselves looked different, cared for in a way that reflected pride, not obligation. It was subtle, but meaningful. Watching this change brought mixed feelings. There was hope in seeing new respect take root, and pride in knowing the example had made an impact. But there was also a touch of sadness, knowing I wouldn't always be here to tend the grass or remind them what true leadership looks like. Still, that's the nature of service, passing the torch and trusting those who follow to carry on. This was just the beginning. A new understanding was growing, one that would shape the next generation of soldiers long after the mower stopped moving. At Fort Ashton, a new tradition took root, one that honored not just rank or medals, but the quiet values of respect, service, and humility. Each week, a different recruit was assigned to mow the lawns and care for the grounds. This wasn't punishment, it was a lesson. They learned firsthand that leadership means taking responsibility for even the smallest tasks. Stories about my service and the years I spent tending the grass quietly spread through the base. Soldiers talked not only about battles fought, but about the meaning behind showing up every day to do what's needed without expectation. The mowing job became a symbol, a reminder that true leadership isn't about fame or recognition, but about dedication and respect. Training programs began to change too. Leadership courses started including lessons inspired by my example. Instructors used the story to teach that character matters more than stripes, and that actions build trust far deeper than words. The idea that anyone can lead, no matter their position, gained new weight. I watched these changes quietly, proud but never needing to be in the spotlight. Knowing that my simple act of service had created a ripple effect meant more than any ceremony or award ever could. Legacy isn't built on medals or speeches alone. It lives on in the habits, values, and respect passed from one generation to the next. It's about shaping minds and hearts to understand what leadership truly means, service without fanfare, and commitment even when no one's watching. This tradition at Fort Ashton ensures that those lessons will never be forgotten. When the colonel asked, "Why didn't you speak up?" I knew he was asking more than just about words. Sometimes leadership isn't about making noise or reminding others who you are. It's about showing up every day, quietly doing the work that needs to be done, and trusting that your actions speak louder than any title or speech. I chose not to speak up because I wanted to lead by example. I wanted those around me to see that real leadership is not about demands or recognition. It's about responsibility, humility, and consistency. It's about serving with no expectation of praise, knowing that true influence grows through steady, unseen effort. This story is a reminder that leadership isn't always obvious. It's the quiet power in doing your duty when no one's watching, in caring for others without needing thanks, and in inspiring respect through integrity rather than rank. I hope it encourages others to lead with humility and to value the strength found in silent service. True leaders don't need to announce their presence. They build trust, inspire confidence, and create change simply by being there and doing what's right. If more of us understood that, maybe we'd focus less on titles and more on character. So, I challenge you, wherever you are, whatever role you hold, lead with heart, show up, do your part, let your actions tell your story. Because in the end, leadership isn't about being heard, it's about being remembered for the difference you quietly make.